Hey guys, this is my 1987 Toyota Turbo pickup. I'm going to show you how to replace the speakers. I have front speakers and I was lucky enough to have rear speakers, so I'm going to show you how to do both, just in case you have rear speakers too. Most people don't, but some people, Cool Club, do. Alright, on the driver's side for the front, it's a little bit harder than the passenger side, so I'm going to start on the driver's side. You're basically going to have to take this whole bottom panel out in order to replace this speaker. Alright, so I'm going to start by taking out this screw right here. There's going to be a screw underneath here on the top side. You might be able to see it right. There's a hole right there. I'm going to take that out. Okay, that's out. There's a screw right here. Okay, there's a screw down here at the bottom we're going to take out. And there's one up here where the screwdriver is pointing right there. And there's one more right here, this little hole right here. Okay, now this whole piece should come on out, just like that. Now these are 4-inch speakers. These are mounted very differently from your normal speaker. There's no seal on the outside of the speaker to the plastic except for here at the corners, the diagonal corners. There's a screw up here, and there's a screw down here. And it's like a little bowl in there. It curves in like that. So you only get this and this screw. You could probably drill into this if you wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. I have another somewhat maybe possible solution here. So I'm going to unscrew these screws. Okay, and the speaker will come out at that point. And my speaker wire wasn't hooked up. Great. Now there's really not a lot you can do about this seal, honestly. So I had to lengthen my speaker leads because the previous owner kind of cut them short. So now we just hook up my Scar speaker, and these are the TX4s. I will link these down below. They're apparently supposed to sound pretty dang good for a 4-inch speaker. Get both screws started. Okay, and then the flap goes back up, and then we switch to the passenger side, which is much easier. Okay, for the passenger side speaker that's in here, there's just 2 screws. There's one right here, right there, and there's one. Let's open the glove box, and it is right, and it's right here. You might not be able to see it. Let me scoot the camera over. It's right where the screwdriver is. I'll just take it out right now. And then the second screw down here. And I've already taken this off once, so my speaker's already out, the one that was in there. But you just pop this off, and there you go. That's where your speaker goes. I have to fix the speaker wires on this side, then we'll be back. All right, now we throw our speaker in there. Again, these are the Scar Audio TX4s. I'll link them down below. There'll be an Amazon affiliate link, so you can click on it if you want, or you can just Google the name of the speaker and buy it that way. Costs you the same either way. Just wanted to tell you that it was an affiliate link. We're going to toss this in there. That's what it looks like in there. We throw our first screw in, get it started. All right, there we go. Speaker is in. We just got to throw this flat back on up there, and then we move to the back. All right, now if you're lucky enough to have rear speakers back there, then this part is for you. Okay, so we're going to take a screwdriver. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 Phillips screws. Excuse the dirtiness back here. It is a Toyota pickup truck, okay? I'm getting these screws out, and then I'll show you what's underneath. And you pretty much have 2 options with this, and I'll show you what your options are. Okay, let's pull our speaker leads off. Okay. So now we have this with the speaker on the back. That's how the speaker affixes to the back of it. Okay, so here's your speaker setup. You got this front grill, and inside here I think is a 5-inch speaker. The part number is 311002, or it's another part number here, the G. If you really want to look up this part number, that might help you there. If you want to look up that part number, C100M0717250. Okay, so we're going to unscrew these from the speaker if we can. This one, like, all this stuff broke off in there. Let's get that out of there. And they're just little tiny Phillips screws. Okay, so that's your speaker. I think you can come pretty close to matching it with, I think this is a 5 1/4, so I bet a 5-inch would do better. This is a Rockford Fosgate R152. I bet that the holes are a little bit wider on the R152, so I bet if you got a 5 1/4 or a 5-inch speaker, it would probably fit right into that. So That's one option. The second option, which is what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna take this, lay it flat onto a sheet of MDF. I'm probably use like 1/2 inch MDF, and I'm gonna cut out the size of this, and then I'm gonna use a pencil, draw little holes in the cutout where these screws go, and then I'm gonna delete this, or maybe keep it depending on what I can do. These are my Alpine Type R components that I was gonna use, but I feel like that's just gonna, yeah, it's just gonna poke into it. The little plastic inserts are just gonna poke into the speaker quite a bit, and I don't wanna break those off. This is probably a kind of a hard part to find. So I'm just going to trace out on the MDF this. I'm gonna cut it out. I'm gonna use a jigsaw to cut out the inner diameter of this right here, and I'm going to just use the MDF. I'm actually not gonna use these Alpine Type Rs. I'm gonna use some Kicker KF series. And they have a grill over them. So I'm just gonna put the MDF back there. It's gonna screw in. Once I trace out these 4 holes on it, it's gonna screw into the factory location, and then this will screw into it, because the 6.5 holes are narrower than the holes for the for this. I thought that I could screw 6.5 straight into these, but I won't be able to. So I'm gonna have to, again, do the MDF route. Okay, so here's what we got. Like I said, I traced the outline onto the MDF. So I made an MDF cutout here. And then what I did was I poked holes. And if you can see, I poked holes, boom, 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 and boom, for the 4 corners where this drills into the actual side of the truck. And I made, as you can see, a perfect circle with my jigsaw. It's hard to do. I can't explain to you how to do it. You just got to learn, okay? I can't. So instead of making the speaker go straight up and down like that, where the holes would be right next to the holes up here, I just cattywampused it a little bit, a few degrees that way. And then I drilled the holes for those, see if I can get them to match up again. So right there is where it should be. You see the holes should line up there. So I'll just get some 1/2 inch screws, screw this into the MDF, and then the MDF will get screwed into the truck, and I'll show you how to do that. Oh, also, tip. You don't want just bare MDF like that, looking like that in your truck. It looks kind of junky. You know, who do you even knows if my cuts are straight? I don't know. So what you do is you want to paint this, right? You want to paint it, but if you just throw some spray paint on here, it's going to come out all splotchy because it's all going to absorb into the MDF. And so it's just going to look all splotchy and uneven. But if you take this spray shellac right here from Zinsser, and we give it a good coat, it dries in minutes apparently. It dries pretty quickly. Now it's kind of cold, but you know, I don't think that's proper temperature for painting, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I'm a bad boy. So we're gonna get a little coat on the outside of this. Like that. A nice little coat. You wanna get the outside edges. I'm just getting my hand as well, I guess. Because you wanna be able to paint the outside edges as well. Now this should create a seal to where you can paint over this and it'll look really good. I'm gonna let this dry. I'm gonna go wash my hands. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so the shellac should have dried. We're gonna spray paint it with some satin black and see if it, oh yeah, at least it gives a nice uniform look to it. That's cool. And the main thing we want is the outside as well. We want to make sure the outside is getting a uniform coverage. The outside's a little bit splotchy because I think of the cross section of the grain, but this top part, well, it's kind of drying, so it looks a little splotchy, but it's not. It's much more solid. All right, so I'm gonna paint the other one. This is gonna be what goes in the truck, and I'll show you the install. All right, so here's our speaker hole. Here's our speaker leads. What I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna cut a little bit of this sound deadening material. This is Noiko. It's a really good budget option for if you don't want to spend a bunch of money on Dynamat. I'll link this down below as well. If you're doing sound deadening, you're going to need a little roller like this. It presses it down to where everything is secured. We're going to take our really bad MDF spacer adapter thing here, run our speaker wires through, and we're going to fit this up here to where these holes all line up. Impact's not the best tool for this, but I'm just going slow speed. Now Now we can hook up our speaker leads. So these are the Kicker KSC650. Okay, those are on there. Now we can put the speaker in, get our screws started for that. For these screws, I'm using little 1-inch screws. Actually, let's screw one of the bottom ones in first. Get that started and we can rest the speaker on that. Okay, getting that started. And get this one started. There we go. Everything is nice and secure. And then I'm going to throw the little speaker cover on here as well. You kind of throw them on there and that's what it'll look like. So it'll look like that in your truck versus like that. You can throw that on there. But again, this is not supposed to be like super aesthetically pleasing. It's just a functional way to put a bigger speaker in here. You could cut out stuff and you could put a 6x9 in here, but I didn't want to cut stuff out of this. It's not in great shape, obviously, but I didn't want to cut into this metal. So I'm just going to leave it as it is, and a 6.5 should be plenty for this small little truck cabin. But anyways, guys, hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, leave a thumbs up. If you have any comments or like any questions you have about the process, maybe something I can maybe help you out with, leave a comment down below and I'll get back with you. And then if you enjoy this kind of stuff, I work on cars a lot. This is a project, this Toyota pickup is a project I'm doing on the channel. If you like that, you can subscribe. Check out my other videos before you subscribe to make sure it's something you're into. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.